Good evening. It's amazing to see so many people here tonight, not just friends and family, but the community of West Plains as a whole. It's nice to know that you all support us and you can be here for us tonight. Now, today marks new beginnings and freedom, but before we start this next chapter of our lives, and I believe that math and science teachers will agree with me, we need at least one more exciting lesson in physics and mathematics. Chaos theory is the field of study in mathematics and physics that studies how small differences in initial conditions, such as those due to rounding errors in numerical computations, yield widely diverging outcomes. The theory is more commonly referred to as the butterfly effect, named after the idea that a gentle flap of a butterfly wing off the coast of Africa can swirl into a violent hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, I'm not for sure that butterfly wings cause hurricanes, but what I do believe is that an insignificant event can have a significant outcome. But wherever we go, we often hear naysayers, pessimists, who claim that the odds are impossible, that the average day does not matter, that one person raised in a small town could never amount to anything on the world stage. Their voices echo words into our ears that your lives won't matter because your names will be forever gotten in the pages of history. But I beg to differ, and I don't want anyone to listen to those voices. Now, in the 1880s, a baby girl caught a fever that left her blind and deaf and unable to communicate. She could have been written off as a hopeless, but instead her name is familiar to millions throughout the world. You may have read her story, The Miracle Worker. Many believe that Helen Keller's widely acclaimed book is about herself, but the actual miracle worker is Helen Keller's teacher, Anne Sullivan. It was Anne Sullivan who brought Helen Keller out of the darkness of being blind and deaf and mute to become one of the most influential voices in the 20th century. Many people have been inspired by the life of Helen Keller, and a majority of people remember Anne Sullivan, but there's a story you may not have heard. Anne Sullivan, when she was young, 9 years old, was checked into an asylum where her physical and mental health quickly declined. She was left in a basement chamber as one of the hopeless cases, until one day, a new, optimistic nurse came after her shift to visit those who were hopeless. Through hard work and endurance, the nurse was able to turn Sullivan around and set her on a path to a better life, so much so that Sullivan was eventually released from the asylum and educated. Now consider this. It's easy to remember the name of Helen Keller and Anne Sullivan, but who I want to stress most tonight is the nurse whose name history has forgotten. That nameless nurse made all the difference in the lives of both women. Her name will never be known, but because of her selfless actions, the world has been inspired and changed for the better forever. Our names may too be forgotten, but the actions we take today will have a powerful influence in the future. If you don't believe me, just look around the room. We're surrounded by parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, and friends who sacrificed their time and talent just to make sure that we, the class of 2016, could be where we are today. They're all heroes because they loved us more than they loved themselves. So this isn't just an extended thank you. This is a reminder that every action matters, because if there's one thing that chaos theory can deduce, it's that one person can make all the difference. Tonight, we'll go our separate ways, but it doesn't matter if we go to college, trade school, or just out into the world. It doesn't even matter what careers we choose or how much money we make. What matters are the actions that define our characters. So leave here and make sure that the class of 2016 is a class that knows it's better to give than to receive, that it's better to love than to hate, and that one selfless act, just like that nameless nurse, even if we don't know the value of the moment until it's long gone, a memory, can make all the difference in the world. Thank you.